It is so good to be with you. And yes, you're exactly right about those auto manufacturing jobs, about air conditioning, HVA systems that are made in the state. What we're hearing from people is they are excited that Donald Trump is bringing the attention to the American workforce, the American worker, and the strength that they bring to the U.S. economy.
How does that excitement transition into action in the state of Tennessee? And what conversations have you had with the governor of the state and with the companies that operate there about keeping those jobs in your state?
I have had no conversations with the governor at this point. I have talked with some of the employers that are in our states and auto manufacturing is prevalent in our state. So are the aftermarket auto parts and the just-in-time component parts that are needed. People feel like this is a very good thing because made in America is going to be important. Sourced in America is going to be important. And people feel as if this is going to be an opportunity for them to increase their production and hopefully with some bilateral trade agreements that are fair to the American workforce. Folks that I'm talking to think this is going to be good for them and good for some of their export markets.
If they don't pursue that opportunity, to use your word, Congresswoman, the president-elect has said there would be consequences for those companies. What consequences would you be willing to address with companies like General Motors, Nissan, Volkswagen, if they said we are going to need to move some of these jobs outside the country? Higher taxes, new tariffs? What would you do?
I think at that point what you do, and GM and Nissan both have a presence in my district, as it does Toyota. And what you do is sit down and look at those companies and look at it holistically. To define that for you at this point would be inappropriate and really kind of irresponsible. But the focus is going to be on American-made and on the American workforce. You know, take some of the folks that are in my district that work with some of the auto plants. They are pleased that production may go up and may be more consistent. And instead of running one or two lines, you're running, or one or two shifts, you're running 3 shifts 24/7. And they like the thought of that. They like the sound of that. They like the opportunity of adding production lines and having more models that are being made or more parts that are going to be shipped to, say, a facility in Alabama or Mississippi or Ohio or somewhere and be utilized in production for automobiles or vehicles there.
Congresswoman, how common do you think it will be that President Trump is so involved with one company's actions? And what do you say to those who argue it flies in the face of free markets?
I look at this with the carrier situation in Indiana as what was transpiring there. You have Vice President-elect Pence, who was the governor there. It is almost as if this is a situation that was evolving and the jobs loss was taking place. And, of course, that happened during the course of the campaign and as Mr. Trump was visiting the state. So I think you have some situations that did come to bear there. There's been several individuals I've talked to have likened it to what happened with Reagan and the air traffic controllers, that type of situation, that the presence of leadership has made a difference. Somebody who was willing to stand up and help defend, if you will, those that were going to face losing their jobs. And I think the presence of Mr. Trump's leadership and how he stepped into this process to say, hey, let's not accept something as a foregone conclusion.
Right.
Let's see if there's a way to make this work. And, of course, the state came through, the local government came through with some incentives. And see, that's so important for the free market sector. Government's job is not to create jobs, it's to create the environment for jobs,
Congresswoman?
for job retention.
Hey,
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.